I am reminded of a Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. And that is a curse, isn't it? Where things are changing at a rate that is always capturing your imagination and filling you with fear, because change is always something that fills you with fear. Why don't we know more about this? Why is stuff out in the streets? I've heard a lot of stuff because I speak to gang members now and then on my radio and television shows, and somehow or other it isn't mentioned. Well, now you're hearing it, and this is raw, uncut stuff, and it has a ring of truth to it. It's scary, isn't it? It's terrifying.
It certainly is scary to hear. It'll
Yeah.
be even scarier if it comes true. Okay, we have Rick on line 4, and he is worried about his sexual appetite.
Rick?
Hi.
How are you, Rick?
Very good.
How old are you, Rick?
I'm 23.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, I feel guilty that I've been sleeping around on my wife.
How long you been married?
2 years.
Why?
Well, I just desire sex a lot. I mean, you know, my wife works long hours, and we do it just about every day. But there's times where she don't feel up to it. And I just, you know, I have 3 other partners that I see at least, each of them at least twice a day.
You're telling me you're having sex 6, 7 times a day?
No, I mean, I will see like one partner like twice a day, and then see another one the next day or so.
So you're having sex, what, 4 times a day?
Yeah.
What do you know about your partners?
Well, two of them I've known them since high school, and another one they're just friends I met.
Do they also see people too?
2 of them have a boyfriend.
Do you use protection?
Yes.
What do you use?
Condom.
Well, I'm not going to make any kind of moral judgment because that's not up to me to make, okay? But there is one problem that goes beyond anything else. And that problem is you're exposing your wife to the AIDS virus.
Right.
You know that?
Yeah.
Have you been tested?
Yes.
And?
Negative.
When was the last time you were tested?
7 months ago.
You know, with this kind of sexual activity, what you're really doing is you're not giving your wife a fair chance.
Yeah.
She thinks that you're safe. You're not safe. You're promiscuous.
Right.
Which means that living the sex life you're living, you're bound to get the virus.
Yes. Another thing is.
Just like that, yes, and
No, I realize that, but
you have every right in the world to be promiscuous, but you don't have a right as a husband to infect your wife unless she knows that you're being promiscuous and she is part of your risk willingly. To make her part of your risk without telling her, that's morally wrong, because it's like murder.
I want to know how I can break this to her. I mean, just last month I had sex with her sister, and now her sister, you know, she keeps calling me, wanting to see me more, and she's threatened me that she's going to tell her.
Rick, let me just tell you about your life. It's just going to come crashing down on you sooner or later, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
I mean, what is life about? I mean, you're being led around by your sexual drive.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether I should just, you know, I know I need to tell her about this. I feel that I need to tell her before her sister does. But I'm also afraid that I'm a loser. But
You will lose her.
yeah,
But it's better to lose her and at least have a clear conscience that you're not going to infect her.
yeah,
I mean, having an AIDS test and having sex with what, 4 different partners?
yeah.
Who are each having sex with other partners?
2 of them.
Yeah, and those 2 partners that they're having sex with, are they also having sex with other people?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of, but they could be, right?
Yeah.
What's your background?
I'm Puerto Rican,
You're in the Hispanic community,
right?
where there's a very high incidence of AIDS.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
What is the incidence, the percentage of people who have it?
What do you mean? What's the?
What percentage of people of your age group in the Puerto Rican Hispanic community have the virus?
I don't know. At least 30%.
I don't think it's 30%.
No.
If it was 30%, you'd all be dying. No, but it's close to 3 or 4,
Oh,
which is extremely high.
yeah.
Which means you've got a 1 in 25 chance of being put in contact with the virus with one person, and you're having sex with 3 people who are in contact with 2 other people. I mean, that's a very high risk.
Yeah.
You're in a very high risk group.
But I mean, those people I'm sleeping with, they're African American.
They have a high risk as well.
Is it as high as?
It's close to the same. So you don't know what's going on. Hey,
How do you think I should
I don't
let my
think
wife know?
you don't sound like you should be married. If you can't be faithful and you're being promiscuous in this age, there's no reason why you should be married to anybody.
Right. That's why I just want to go ahead and let her know.
I think you've got to let your wife know you're probably going to lose her, but that the truth of the matter is she needs to be able to protect herself, and the greatest act of kindness you can do for her is to let her know the jeopardy that you've placed her in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
You've placed her at great risk, and you know something? You've placed yourself at great risk, and you haven't had an AIDS test in 7 months.
Yeah.
You should be getting AIDS tests every 3 months.
Okay. Well, I'll do that, and
And you should only have one partner.
Yeah.
And I would get tested again
Okay.
before you tell your wife.
Before. Okay.
Yeah, so at least you know she escaped this time.
Okay.
But you got to clean up your act,
All right.
because it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Do you believe that? I find it difficult to believe so much of what I hear. It's as if all the things that we try to get across, the education that we try to share, the safety issues that we try to tell people, it doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't mean anything. It makes you feel kind of in a position of being involved in the public welfare. It just makes you feel so sad. What do you have to do to get across? Who's next?
Okay, we have Kevin and Amy. They're on line 12, and they've made an important decision tonight and want to talk about it.
Kevin and Amy.
Hello?
You're Kevin. Kevin? Kevin. Amy.
Hello?
Hello. Are you there? It's like a voice from I don't know
This
where.
is David?
Yes.
David?
Hi, Kevin. Why am I losing him?
This is me, David.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello?
David?
David?
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Your name is David?
Yeah, David.
Okay, that clears that up. For a minute, I didn't know what... How old are you, David?
33.
And your wife is?
32.
Amy, is she, 2 phones or 1?
Pardon?
How many phones do you have?
1.
Okay. All right, why don't you tell me what's going on?
Pardon?
Tell me what is going on.
Oh, about 5 years ago, tested HIV. And the thing is that my mom is the one that...
Are you saying you're HIV positive?
Yes.
You
Full-blown.
I'm sorry?
Full-blown,
So you have AIDS?
yes.
Okay.
And I have a wife and 2 kids. They're fine. They're fine. Anyway, my mom, she found out through make a long story short, she found out, and she told my whole family about it. My immediate family.
Yeah.
And so they don't like me anymore. I've been, how can I say, been threatened with being arrested if I walk down the street where my uncle lives, that he'll call the police on me. I'm kind of nervous right now.
Okay, I understand. All right, so when did your mother find out? How long ago?
My mother? Well, okay, when I went to the hospital about, like I said, 5, 6 years ago.
Now, how long has it been that your mother has known about this and has turned the family against you?
Well, when I was in the hospital to be diagnosed.
That's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, so wait a second.
What?
Why are you calling tonight?
Because I've been trying to get a hold of you.
Okay, but what is the problem tonight?
Well, it hasn't stopped. My whole family, they don't like me because what I have.
I understand.
And they treat me like a leper.
Okay.
And,
is Amy there?
pardon? No, my wife, Annette.
Annette, is she there?
Yeah.
Can I talk to her for a second?
Yeah. Hold on. Annette. Yeah,
What a confusing
she can
situation.
explain a little bit more.
Okay, I want to ask her a few things.
Okay, yeah, here she comes.
Thank you. Annette.
Hello.
Hi, Annette.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
What's the problem this night?
Well, I think he just needs a little. Well, I've been pretty much the background of trying to keep him pretty grounded. A lot of the problem, I guess, has to do with his feeling towards his family. Before he was diagnosed, he had a very close family, and I guess what really hurt him was the fact that his mom took it upon herself to tell everyone without us, consulting with her, because she, of course, is his mom. She has the right to know, but she didn't.
But this has been going on for 5 years. Why is it a problem tonight?
I think it kind of bothers him now because he has a very close relative who his aunt is very ill. She's not expected to pull through, and she might pass away. And
He's not able to visit her?
he is, but it is very uncomfortable for him because there are some family members that he hasn't seen in a long while, and it's very difficult for him to put on a face to say, everything's okay, because there are some other family
All
members
right.
that.
What about you making arrangements for him to be able to meet with this aunt alone for a little bit?
I think that would work.
See, what you're going... Listen to that. The family is controlled by a very powerful woman who wants things her way. And what you have to do is work around that. And you have to act as his agent, so to speak. That means you have to clear the way for him and make it possible for him to be able to have access to people. And you have to act as someone who can smooth it out from him, because no one else is going to do it. If you just act as a little bit of a diplomat for him, I think you can clear things up a lot, because to allow him with his anger, hurt, and frustration to enter the picture is only going to make it worse. So you become his mouthpiece and negotiate his way through all this. We have another call from someone who has involvement with gangs, who has some other insight to bring to us about the recent truce, and we're going to come up with that when we come back. So stay. No, we're going to go right to him right now, as a matter of fact. Papa.
Yeah,
Hi. How old are you, Papa?
21.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, I was just sitting here in my living room and I saw or heard a gentleman talking about the gangs and how he has some misinformation. I think it caused him to have fear. I think a lot of people are suffering from that in LA right now.
Yeah, we'll straighten this out.
Well, I think what people are talking about is a lot of LA gangs have decided to stop killing each other and try and use their energy in a positive direction and try and help out the community, because right now is when they need them the most. And needs these males, these young males, to become involved in doing things that the community needs done that should be done by the people that live there, like policing the community and building these businesses and working at these places to try and stop some of these problems. So, it's just want to straighten it out, It's not, these gangs, they're getting together to protect the community. They're not getting together to, go kill some more, but they're trying to put their organizations into a positive direction. And people need to cut them some slack and just try and appreciate them. You can't just write people off.
Has there been an ultimatum delivered to the mayor?
Excuse me?
Has there been a demand paper given to the mayor?
A demand paper given to the mayor?
Yeah, a list of demands.
By the gang?
Yeah.
Not that I've heard of.
Uh-huh. And you think that the gangs just want to be able to take over their own turf and improve it now?
Well, it's deeper than that.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
I mean, the people who are getting together, Fred, I think his last name is Williamson, but Mr. Fred and Mr. Jim, they've been on TV working in Watts trying to get kids to go to school, and they have a lot of pull in L.A. and former gang members, and they trying to go up in the projects and get people to work together. It's like... And the rest of the community in the outlying areas, the people who have never seen South Central until the helicopters fly over with a TV camera, they have a lot of fear, and they have more understanding, than we could really do something now that everybody's got their attention. But the thing is that people are not educated. They need to not have so much fear, and they need to let young males, black males especially, develop in the community and be a positive part of their community. You can see they have energy. If they didn't have energy, they wouldn't even form gangs. And they're eloquent people. They just need a good direction, and right now is the time when the community needs them most. And they've been willing to put forth some effort and get along together, have Christian brothers lined up, right together and not killing each other, and that's one step, and they just need to take it a step further. And if the police believe that they're getting together because of them and they need all this firepower, that's what's wrong.
You don't think they're targeting the police?
I mean, I think they fed up with police brutality. They don't want to have no more of that, And I understand that there's good cops and bad cops, but the thing is that the cops and the police, the community, should be from the community, and that's the main staple, because there's such a lack of understanding. And we trying to say bridge that gap with education, but sometimes there's just things you just can't learn. We need to have the community policed by the people from the community, and to do all the other services too. Can't have a large percentage of the community unemployed, and then have these services done in the community by people who don't even live there.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it's really not that difficult, all these problems. And now, since all this violence has happened, a lot of people are just trying to wake up, just now starting to realize all these damn problems. And it's been in front of people's faces for so long, they just haven't even wanted to take the time to listen, to look. Before you send all your clothes everywhere and your food, I mean, you need to do that too, but you also need to go to the library and check out books and learn about the history of not just South Central, but of black neighborhoods everywhere. And you'll see why history has repeated itself. It's so similar to the Watts riots. If you've ever studied it, you'll see.
What do you think the main causes were, from your point of view?
The main cause?
Sure.
Well, the main cause is just that oppression by race and class still is a mainstay of America. No matter how much people want to deny it, it's still there. And these forces tend to make people angry. And when it's put together, it just needs a few things to put it together. Videotape of Rodney King getting beat, a videotape of Latasha Harlins getting killed, and then those people getting set free. That's as simple as that. It shows you that black life is worth nothing in this country. And a man shoots a dog, and then they send him to jail. But Latasha Harlins got shot in the back, and Hunter got probation and a fine. And then these cops, they got off too. I mean, I watched that trial, and I even thought that even in Simi Valley, they was going to be found guilty. But nope. Nope. And that set it off.
I guess we were all shocked with that. Let me ask you a question. What's your education?
Well, I've been to college, but I didn't finish.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to finish, but, you know, that's another problem. It's hard to get an education when you don't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'm struggling just like everybody else. Everybody struggles just the same. It's just different in some places than it is in others.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think of what you see on this program?
Well, I don't really watch this program too much. I don't know. I mean, it's good to have people talk about things, but, I mean, you know, probably never talked about too many issues in the community before the community got burnt up. I mean, it shouldn't take something like that for people to want to talk about these things. We've been sweeping it underneath the rug for so many years, and then we never thought it would happen. People who know something about it would have told you that something would have happened. Been trying to tell you, but then now that something's happened, everybody want to focus on it, and I hope that the enthusiasm that's carried right now doesn't be forgotten about 2 weeks from now, because it'll happen again. You know, I don't condone it. I don't condone all these things that have happened. None of them. I mean, just as a human, everything that's happened is a lot of it's terrible, and it's just irreplaceable, and it's frustrating, and it makes everybody sad. But you just gotta let. I don't know. You just
gotta let it heal.
Yeah, you're right.
And you gotta fix what's wrong.
And finally, some people have opened their eyes, but let's really wake up.
Yeah. It's important that the black community have black people running their own business and profiting by their own efforts and helping themselves. It's not right for everyone to be telling them how to run their own lives.
Yeah, and you know, really, as far as the tensions between black folks and Koreans, you know, I think that a lot of people, you know, they make the Koreans out the victims, and I think that they are in a way, but also, if you look at history, it's in every, you know, back in New York City, it used to be that Jewish folks run all the businesses in Harlem and didn't hire nobody black, and then, you know, they got burned up a couple times and everybody left, and the businesses that got burned up in Watts were owned mostly by white folks. And that's what causes this mentality to burn everything up, because it's really not yours, you know. And you want something that's yours, something that's your own, something you feel you a part of, and that's a part of you.
Something you can build on, make better, take pride in.
All that, yeah.
And believe in.
And do it your own way, too.
Sure. I'm for that.
Yeah, I know, I can tell.
Okay. You take care, and thanks for calling.
All right.
We'll be right back. Maybe things are going to get better. Boy, I hope so. Stay with us.
This is Night Talk. Night Talk continues.
David Viscott, and welcome back. I like it when this program follows the emotional pulse of the community as well as the emotions that you're going through. But we have a little of both.
Okay, well, why don't we take a call from Kyle? He's on line 5,
Okay.
and he's feeling some guilt over a sexual encounter.
Kyle.
Hello?
Hi, Kyle. How old are you?
16.
15?
16.
16. What happened?
Okay, a friend of mine, he's a little older than I am, so it's a guy, and we were over at my house. It was kind of late, and we fell asleep, and I woke up and he was touching me, and it kind of escalated from there, and I haven't confronted him about since then, and that was about Wednesday or Thursday, and I'm not sure what I should do.
All right. Well, what is the concern?
Well, I'm concerned what's going to happen between us from now on, or,
What do you want to happen?
well, I've been attracted to this guy just about since I've been friends with him, and I'm not sure whether I want something to happen or whether I just want to forget about it and let it lie.
What is your sexual experience in life?
What? Excuse me?
What is your sexual experience?
What do you mean?
How much sexual experience do you had?
Well, I've been going out with someone, a girl, for over a year.
And how do you feel about that?
At times I feel good about it, and at times I kind of wish I wasn't.
And why would you wish you weren't?
Well, we have a lot of problems. We fight all the time. Not all the time, but a
Okay,
lot.
but I'm talking about the sexual aspect of it. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy the thought of having a meaningful relationship with a woman, but at the same time I feel attracted to men.
Okay. How long have you felt attracted to men?
Since I was about 12 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Was this the first time it went this far?
yes.
And your feelings about it going this far were what?
At first I liked it, but then I got kind of nervous
You became afraid of what?
of what would happen between us.
That you would have a relationship?
Yeah, because I'm not sure if we did, what would happen between me and my girlfriend, or what.
Well, all this says is these feelings tell you that you're treading in an area that you don't feel comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
So when you're in an area that you don't feel comfortable with, that makes you anxious, you say, gee, I don't want to go any further with this right now. I'm not sure of myself, so I don't want to do something that I'm not sure of. I mean, that's how you make a decision as an adult. There aren't any rule books. Do you have any feelings about being gay?
I don't feel that it's wrong, but I can't accept that I would be.
All right. So you're not comfortable with you being gay?
No.
All right. So if that's where you are right now, that's where you are right now. And your answer to the friend is, gee, I don't want this to continue. I don't feel comfortable with it. It doesn't make me feel good. And although I have a difficult relationship with this girl, it's just a relationship with a girl, and I'm still looking down that the side of the street for satisfaction and development right now. And who knows, maybe if I find the right girl, things will work out a lot better, and this will just be a passing fancy, where if I get involved in this right now without really being sure, I might end up getting involved in something that I really am not that comfortable in and don't want to be that involved in.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Perfect.
Because I want you to do what's right for you. And if you're uncomfortable, your feelings are telling you something. You can be attracted to men sexually and not have relationships with them. Did you know that?
No.
It's okay to be attracted to anybody. But what you act on has to be in your long-term best interests. I mean, if you're attracted to women and you're attracted to men, but you've chosen to be with women because you feel more comfortable there, then you should stay there until that feeling changes. It may not change, and you may find yourself more comfortable with women, and if you do, the likelihood is that the feelings about the guy will diminish. And if it turns out the other way, then it turns out the other way. But at least you're following the more comfortable path by your own sights.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
It does, huh?
Yeah.
Good. You're a good one, Kyle.
Thanks.
And you should do what feels right for you.
Okay.
Okay, pal. We'll be right back. You should do what feels right for you. You know, there are no rules in the world. There is no rule book that anyone gets that says this is how you are in this situation and this is how you are in that situation. And yet you don't make up the game plan right in the middle of the action. You have a history. You have a sense of right and wrong. You have a sense of who you are. You have a sense of your family and what feels good. And you have a sense of what feels comfortable. If it feels comfortable, the chances are it's pretty right for you. We'll be back.
This is Night Talk with Dr. David Viscott. Night Talk continues.
Welcome back, David Viscott. Who's next?
Okay, we have Susan on line 7, and her husband is addicted to pornography.
Susan.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, hi. How old are you?
49.
How old's your husband?
49.
He's addicted to pornography?
Well, he instead of, having sex with me, he looks at the magazines or cuts the pictures out or rents a movie and then masturbates himself.
Are you around when this is going on?
Usually he tries to hide it. I've caught him a couple times or several times.
And when you've caught him, what has his reaction been?
He calls me a bitch and walks out of the room.
Okay. And how often is he doing this?
I don't know how often. Very often.
And how often do you have sex with him?
We don't.
And when did that start?
About 10 years ago.
10 years?
Uh-huh.
You've been putting up with this for 10 years?
Well, I kept hoping he would change.
Why would you hope that he would change?
Because before that it was good.
Yeah, but I'm just stunned that you would go 10 years and tolerate this.
I kept hoping.
Yeah, but hoping and not confronting.
Now, I filed for a divorce, and he told me that he wants to, work things out. He doesn't want a divorce.
Well, when did you file?
Last year, at the end of the year.
And is it still cooking?
Yeah, but I told him to hold off with it for a while because he said he would try to change, but then I caught him again.
Okay. He has to make an agreement.
But he said he, would, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't do it.
Then go ahead with the divorce. I mean, this is no life for you. When was the last time you had sex with your husband?
Right after I told him I filed, and he got served, he had sex with me, but it was like to shut me up. And that was the last time.
Okay.
It wasn't even, it was like, okay, I got her satisfied, fine.
Okay, he's not sincere. Do you need me to tell you that?
No.
The question is, why are you so afraid of doing what's right for you?
Because I do care about him. I do love him. I hate to throw away 17 years.
Well, you would have only thrown away 7 if you had acted in time. Do you see that you made a bad investment of time?
Yeah.
And you may not be able to save this. But he's not being sincere. Have you considered couple therapy?
He refuses to go.
Then he's not sincere.
He said, no, I don't need that.
Okay, then there's no way he's going to change.
Tell me that a lot of men go down to the bookstores and that. I think a lot of men do, but they don't try to substitute everything in life.
Right, and the point is there's no reasoning with him. He's making excuses for that. You have to take all of the decisions in your own hand, and you have to be ready. And if you're not ready to do it, then it's going to just go on and on. You did the right thing when you filed. And if he wants to change it, you say, here are the rules. You go into couple therapy with me, you agree to stop this, or I go through with it. Anything short of that will be a disaster.
Because I wonder if maybe something I did or that.
It doesn't make any difference, but the only way you're going to resolve it is if he agrees to go in therapy together. Tell him unless he decides to do that, it's over. And I would proceed, take a deep breath. What is it you say you love when you love him? He doesn't care about your feelings.
I know.
That means he doesn't love you.
True.
True, so what? So you don't love him.
Yeah, I do.
You are pretending that you do. You think you do right now, but to love someone who treats you in this way, who doesn't love you back, is being a little bit of a fool, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, time to stop that. Come on. You're digging yourself into a depressive pit. Only you can climb out of it. Lay the law down. Give him one more chance, but it involves seeing someone regularly in couple therapy. If he says no, it's over. We'll be right back after this important message.
This is Night Talk. Night Talk continues.
And we are continuing right here. Who's it? Let's see if we can get two calls in.
Okay, we're going to take Kim. She's on line 9, and she's in love with her boss.
Hey, Kim.
Hi,
How old are you?
28.
Your boss married?
Boss is married.
And you're in love with him?
Yeah, I'm in love with him.
Explain.
Well, I've been out here a few years, and I was in a very abusive, physically abusive relationship with my old boyfriend. And my boss was extremely emotionally and financially supportive of me. And we spent a lot of time together. We socialized together, and it just grew into something that it should never have grown into.
Why do you say it with such clarity?
I'm sorry.
Why do you say that it should never have grown into that with such clarity at this point? How come you know that so clearly now?
Well, because he's married, and to me it's not right. He's married, he has children.
Do you talk about that on a daily basis?
With him?
Yeah, that it doesn't feel right to you?
No, I haven't discussed this with him.
Why not?
I don't know.
That's not being truthful. So what do you think your boss's impression of the relationship is?
I'm pretty sure that he senses how I feel, and I feel that he feels something for me too.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
We're not talking about whether you have love. We're talking about your discomfort. Is he aware of your discomfort?
I don't think so.
Why don't you make him aware of it?
How do I make him aware of it?
You tell him just as you told me, you know, I really feel very uncomfortable with the fact that you're married and have kids. It makes me feel bad. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell him the truth? If you want the relationship to be open and honest and free, you should tell him that you're having some Misgivings about being the other woman. How did you like that phrase, by the way?
I don't like that phrase.
That's what you are.
But it's the truth, I know.
Right. What do you think your longevity is going to be in this relationship?
I don't know. I'd like to end the relationship without ending the job, and I don't know if that's possible.
It may not be possible, and what's more, it's almost always the woman who gets fired.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
I guess I do need to talk to him.
You have to talk to him. Be straight, be simple, don't be complicated. Say you're feeling uncomfortable about it. You're also afraid that if you ended the relationship as you really feel more comfortable with, you're afraid you'd be fired. And talk to him about it. Just talk to him as if it was your real simple feelings, and your chances are you'll get further with that than almost anything else. But you're in a compromised position. Can't feel good.
Next call?
Yeah.
Okay, we have Maya on line 10, and she's obsessed with her lover.
Maya.
Hi, David.
Hi, Maya. How old are you?
22.
What do you mean obsessed?
Well, I'm obsessed with my girlfriend. I mean,
Tell me what obsessed is.
what I think obsessed is when you can't get enough of the person, and I completely don't trust her, no matter what.
Can you speak up? You don't trust her? How old is she?
She's 28.
What do you mean you don't trust her?
I just don't trust her. I feel that, I don't know what I feel. It's just, if the phone rings, I have to know who it is. Or if it's her ex-girlfriend,
Oh, you're insecure.
yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
And how does she address your insecurity?
She just tells me that she loves me and that I have nothing to worry about, and I believe her,
But
it just won't sink in. It's just really tough.
okay. And the reason it's tough is because you don't feel worthy
Of her?
of anyone.
Why is that?
You tell me.
Boy.
Is that true?
What do you mean by I don't feel worthy?
You don't feel you deserve someone else's love. You want it, you demand it, but down deep you don't believe it, that when you get it, that you're entitled to have it because you generate that love in the other person. You don't believe that you're that valuable a person. You think someone else can replace you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you felt like that?
Over her?
Over everybody.
Just over her. I never felt like that with anyone else.
Really?
Yeah.
You never felt deserving when you were growing up? Even undeserving, right?
Undeserving?
Yeah.
Of relationships?
No,
People-
undeserving, period. I'm talking about your self-esteem.
Yeah, I have.
All right, so it's been a problem all your life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what jealousy is about. It's always about insecurity and a low self-esteem. Where did that come from, do you think?
Wow. I probably haven't had the best life,
Tell me about your parents.
My parents?
Yeah, how did they treat you? When you're around your mother, the feeling you had about yourself was?
Never good enough.
Okay. Doesn't that say the whole thing? Okay. So if you didn't feel ever that you were good enough around your mother, the feeling you have around your lover is that somehow or other, someone is going to be better than you. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Is this your first relationship?
No, it's not.
Speak up.
No, it's not. It's, I would say the second serious
Okay.
relationship. We live together.
All right. In the other relationship did you have, was this a problem?
There wasn't a problem. I think I was just too young, and I kind of wanted to go on and do my own thing. So
In other words, it was experimental. You had no investment.
right.
Okay. That happens. You sometimes think, gee, I'm invincible. I'll move on. I'm young. I'm beautiful. I can do whatever I want. And then you really care about another person, and you learn to love. And then you realize how much you could lose if the other person rejected you. Isn't that right? And then the next thing that hits you is, other situations in your life where you felt rejected because you weren't good enough. And then you plug into that old feeling from your childhood, the feeling you had around your mother, the feeling that you had that somehow or other you weren't good enough, and you're left with that feeling of desperation, powerlessness, helplessness, a feeling of loneliness, a feeling of something bad is about to happen to you. Doesn't that make sense?
Very much.
So what you're having is a memory of your mother, not so much an experience of what's going on in the relationship with your girlfriend. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so what you need to do, and if you love this woman and this woman loves you, what you do after she's on the phone with someone, you say, look at me, I know you love me and I know you want to reassure me, but you know the truth is, I'm having remembrance of my mother's lack of feeling of support of me. And I got to talk to you about my feelings about my mother right now because they're intruding in our relationship. It's not about you and I, it's about my mother and I, and start talking about them. That way you'll be able to talk about your feelings of jealousy, but they're really feelings of insecurity that your mother fostered. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Then your friend can be helpful to you, won't feel that you're being obnoxious by being stuck on this, and you'll be able to grow and maybe grow closer together. Arlene, thank you for your help tonight.
Good night, David.
Difficult times. We've got to get through them. We're one community. We've got to love each other. We've got to find a way to get through this. Come on, remember, we all share feelings. We're all human.
You may wish to contact the Viscott Center at 1-800-426-4432. The center is open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Private consultation is available for a fee.